Can- Hi everyone, my name is Ann Lee, and I'm here on behalf of Ga'Chi to present to you our Relay live stream. Ga'Chi is a student-led nonprofit organization with student leaders from over 27 international schools across Canada, China, South Korea, Singapore, and the United States. Our 24 Relay live stream aims to discover what it means. Hi everyone, my name is Ann Lee, and I'm here on behalf of Ga'Chi to present to you our Relay live stream. Ga'Chi is a student-led nonprofit organization with student leaders from over 27 international schools. It was on repeat, sorry. And over the 24 hours, students will discuss what identity means to them, and I will be discussing the association between food. I'm specifically talking about Korean food and my identity. Hi. So now I'd like to talk about 4 different foods that I feel most personally connected to, which is kimchijeon, bulgogi, 계란말이, and 떡. And there's one thing common about these 4 foods. They're all foods that I regularly eat on my birthday. And like on the question of identity, we mainly ask ourselves like, who am I? And when we introduce ourselves, we say our names, then like our birthday as well. So I decided to choose birthday as a major theme. And inside that category, food is very relevant since we all have some customary birthday meals in Korea. And the one thing I want to focus on in this live stream is identity and how the foods associate with me. And so the food I want to share first is kimchijeon, and I'm sure everyone knows what kimchijeon is because it's made out of kimchi. But then honestly, it's been a long time since I ate kimchi by itself. Yeah, I'll try to eat kimchijeon. This is not a mukbang. It's to introduce 4 different types of food that really mean a lot to me. So I'm not gonna eat a lot. Yeah, just telling. You can see it. So yeah, I did this yesterday. Like they're made yesterday, so it's like I'm excited. 맛있어요. Kimchijeon is one of my favorite foods, even though I don't really like kimchi. But yeah. There's like small bits of kimchi and hesamur, I think. I think there's like squid. Yeah. 맛있어요. I made my mom make it, but the thing is, like, I helped her, but I'll give most of the credit to her. It's like, I there's a possible story. I think that like when I was like young, I think the only chon I could eat was like kimchijeon. So whenever we went to family restaurants, I'd only order kimchijeon. But I don't like kimchi. Like, I think I said this, but I don't like kimchi. But from a like young age, I used to like kimchijeon. So I think I ate like 5 kimchijeons per time when I was a child, like just like regularly. But now, like I don't have that much appetite. This is like cold. Honestly, I never before thought about how kimchi represents my identity. I mean, I know it shows the Korean identity as a whole, but it wasn't like I thought about its connection with me. But then through this project, I realized that kimchi did have an association with me. More specifically, I eat kimchijeon for my birthday every year, and also on some other occasions, very frequently. And kimchi is a symbolic representation of me because it makes me feel Korean as well as just me due to the fact that it contains kimchi but it's like a moderation of it. So if I don't have kimchi on my table, I don't really mind. But taking out the kimchijeon from my birthday table, it feels like I'm removing the Korean feeling for myself. So in a way, I think it just reminds me of my ethnicity as a Korean, just my identity as a whole. Hmm. I think Koreans are very patriotic towards kimchi, like the ingredient itself as a whole. But I wasn't that patriotic. I wasn't really interested in the issue of ongoing disputes between China and Korea about the pao chai. But after I created the video and everything, I realized that maybe I am patriotic towards the whole issue. Because I think for Koreans, it's like a symbolic representation of their culture as well as their identity. So it just makes them feel very passionate towards the whole issue. And I think that I am becoming more passionate as I eat the kimchi. And also, isn't there the kimchi 관련된 이야기면 isn't there the drama the kimchi 싸대기 thing? I lived abroad for in New York for 5 years. Well, that's not a long time, but yeah, just 5 years. And I think that because I lived in New York for 5 years, in the Korean restaurants and the Asian restaurants, back then, I don't think there was a lot throughout the whole neighborhood. There were some really famous Michelin starred restaurants, but not the 그냥 동네 restaurant. So I didn't really have a chance to eat regular Korean food that often. Just go to the streets and go to a Korean market. But I did taste some Korean 그런 I don't Korean food that's professional 고급, but it was really good. Yeah. And 그, did you watch the video of the kimchi sadegi thing? I don't know. I think because of kimchi, it's it has a connection with entertainment. The kimchi sadegi thing's 재밌는데. Like, why am I even mentioning this? I think that it's a big part of our culture and how people think of kimchi is they're passionate towards it, but actually it's very entertaining. 이거 이거요. 이거 the kimchi sadegi thing. It's actually fun. If you didn't watch it, you should watch it. I don't know why I'm mentioning this. It's fun. And the second food I'm gonna talk about is 계란말이. Like although 계란말이 is not a traditional food, it does represent my identity in a way. I think I could connect this to my personality, whatever. But how'd well, it's a TV drama, but then it was a clip in it. It's kimchi로. They basically hit another person's face. I think there's lots of parodies. It's very fun. And, 이거 그거예요. 계란말이. And there's cheese inside. It's very 오렌지. 맛있겠다. It tastes very cheesy. Because there's cheese inside. I think it's like it tastes like the slice of American cheese. And it's inside like keran. The keran's kind of like thick and like 딱딱해. It's normally not supposed to be like this, but yeah. 제가 야채를 like I can eat it, but like I can't eat 양파 and pa. So it's like I didn't eat 양파 for a good like since I was like 6 years old, and like pa as well. And like I can eat 당근, but then I don't like 당근. So maybe that's how 계란말이, like this type of like no yache and only cheese 계란말이 can also represent myself. Like I don't know, the 양파 식감 always disturbs me, and also the 파 식감. Like 그래서 like 그것 때문에 I can't eat 짜장면 and like hamburgers. It's like more of the 식감, not the taste. Yeah. I'm sure that all Koreans have tried, sorry, have tried 계란말이, but like they all like different variations. Where am I? Oh, okay. So they all like different variations, and these variations each symbolize a unique person depending on the ingredients and style we choose. Like as I'm saying this, like on the screen, I think it comes out like a bit later, like on the actual live stream. 해가지고 like while I'm eating, I'm watching like myself pouring out water and like spilling it, so it's kind of like 이상한데 괜찮아요. I think these variations, like as like the comments mentioned, it's like 야채 들어간 것도 있고, 그리고 막 김 들어간 것도 있고, and like there's like so many different variations, and I think these like each symbolize a unique person depending on the ingredients and style we choose, like the unique identity of a person. Because the ingredients that this keranmari contains are like cheese and some soft egg, like that's the only two one. And these components answer the question, who am I? Because it sheds light on the personality that I admire. Like I want to become. It's like not necessarily my personality, but that's mainly the reason why I think I'm attracted to this dish, because it shapes the person I strive to become. Like, for example, you know how like cheese is very like not 딱딱해, like it's not supposed to be 딱딱해, and like this one isn't 딱딱해. Like it's not 딱딱해. It's like what should I say? It's like 끈끈해, 끈끈한 우정. But like it's very stretchy. Let's just say it's stretchy, and the stretchy cheese inside. I want to become a more flexible person, and like yeah, a more flexible person, like easygoing. Like that's the personality type that I like and want to become, and I strive to become. So I think that in a way, like this keranmari shapes the person I want to become, and also shapes my identity by like leading me towards that direction. I think that's why I feel like a connection, like a bond to it. It's like a bonding. So there's like 4 left. 근데 like 제가 이거 하려고 like I woke up really like I couldn't sleep like the last night because I was like watching the previous relay live streams. It was like all very good. I watched like a lot, but I woke up. I think I woke up at like 5 a.m. today. So 이게 I was trying hard not to eat anything because I knew that I had to do this live stream, but I ended up eating like a ton of food. I think I ate like 빵 and like chocolate at like 5 o'clock. I think I ate like chocolate because like I was so hungry. 일어나면 it's like 배고파. 그래가지고 like I think I'm more 입맛 like most 입맛 있어 in like morning. 그래가지고 I ate too much. Like, I was trying not to. I was actually like trying not to. There's 4 left, but I'll eat one more because there's more food left. There's like the dish. So I think I'm a night person. I think like I don't like the mornings. I mean, because in the morning, like if I don't have any hagwons, which I kind of have to go, but if I wasn't forced to, like if I didn't have to, I don't think like I would have woken up like really early. I think I would always wake up at like 12 p.m. and just watch TV. Cause yeah. 그쵸? 눈 뜨면 it's 원래 배고파요. 그래가지고 저는 like my habit is eating like really sweet things for breakfast, which I'm gonna get to, but 그래서 막 그냥 아침으로 you know how like most people eat like 빵 or 떡 or 그냥 밥 같은 거 in general? Like if like depending on the person. I think that like I sometimes eat 막 초콜릿이랑 막 과자랑 그런 걸 I just eat it for breakfast. I think it's like a natural part of me. Maybe that represents my identity too. Yeah, I'll just eat one more. I'm like 만지작 만지작. 마지막. My identity. It represents who I want to become. 그만 먹을게요. I don't think I can take in more 계란말이 now. So, quarter 3 is 불고기. I'm gonna move on to 불고기. 이게 it's not something I made. 이거 그냥 I went to like the nearby store and bought the 불고기. So 원래 I like the spicy 불고기, but this one is just like the regular type. Yeah, it should be the regular type because that's what they normally serve. 먹어볼게요. 여기 there's like 파, 양파, and mushrooms, and 고기. It looks very slimy. Yeah, it looks very good. Yeah, I'll just eat it. 먹어보겠습니다. I'm like picking out the onions. 맛있겠죠? 불고기입니다, 여러분. 불고기요. I think that 불고기 is a very essential part of me because like it's the food that I actually eat the most in my life. Like in my school, they literally serve 불고기 almost every week. I'm pretty sure like it's like it appears every single week. And one day it's like 불고기, and then the next day it's like 제육볶음, and then the next day it's like 불고기 but with more 간장. I don't know. It's just I think that they're very fond of 불고기. So it like I eat it almost like every single week, I think. And now that school changed to offline, I'm pretty sure I have to eat it continuously. 맛있어요. I'll just say it's good. I'll admit it's very good. Okay. 진짜 맛있어요. It's actually really good. 진짜 맛있어요. 그리고 또 mushroom이 있어요. 저는 I like mushrooms. I like mushrooms. And one personal experience that actually told me how much bulgogi meant to me was like when I went to a vacation to Massachusetts. I think it was last year, back when Corona was fine. I miss those days. But then I went to this random neighborhood. I was just like walking around, and then I was so surprised to find out that there was like a bulgogi at a random restaurant. It was like a Asian restaurant, but I felt like a special sense of patriotism and like suddenly after seeing like a bulgogi on the menu, because like honestly, other than in New York, I didn't like see a Korean dish like in an Asian restaurant like often. Like obviously there's a lot of restaurants with Korean menus, but it wasn't like I actually saw it often. I don't think I went to many Asian restaurants, and most of them had like 그냥 like chili 새우 and those things. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot, but that was my first, and I hadn't expected it. And so I ordered the bulgogi and ate the menu, but it was like so tasty. Because for a long time, for 1 month, like I was like at the summer camp, but my my ima is very different from like American food. So like it wasn't like typically like my style, honestly, the bulgogi like in that place. 아니, like 불고기는 맛있는데 근데 like the American food, I don't really enjoy American food. For 1 month, like I ate 진짜 캠프 갔는데 it was like a buffet. 근데 I literally ate a chocolate milk for like the entire week. 제가 I live in Korea. I live in Korea right now. I used to live in America. And then just 왔다 갔다 할 때 그 캠프 가면서 왔다 갔다 and like vacation. Not now though, because of Corona. And then 제가 원래 like so I don't really like 불고 I don't really like why am I saying this? I don't really like American food. 근데 so for 1 month I literally ate chocolate milk, chocolate milk, chocolate milk, chocolate milk like 계속 for like 1 full month. And like there was nothing I could eat. Like I don't even like hamburgers. 그쵸? Like I'm wondering how I survived as well. Like 진짜 I was so sad. Like the best thing I ever tasted in like that camp was the ice cream social 때. Yeah. I'm kind of but the experience was fun, but I kind of missed Korean food at that point in time. And so when I went to the bulgogi restaurant after like 1 month in camp, the experience felt very special. Like the food tasted really delicious. I was like, oh, 뭐지? Because I don't like bulgogi normally. 근데 갑자기 it was so good. And like at that point, I realized that bulgogi meant much more to me than I knew of. It's like although I ate it regularly, I think I never realized the value of it. And like that value, the 가치 for me is like a sense of belonging and like a sense of like 좀 it's like a feeling of being somewhere like you missed for a long time. And since people collectively enjoy bulgogi in South Korea, I thought that I was like an outcast for not liking bulgogi. But after that experience, like I saw a belief or like a value shift happening within me or my identity. Like the beliefs that actually make up one's identity, it shifted, and I think in a way that represented like an identity shift in me. I started to look at things very differently and tend to admire the value of things rather than just like take it for granted. Food that I wanted most. Oh, almost every food. Korean food 하면 I'd say 김치전이죠. 그 김치전이 아주 맛있죠. 근데 honestly, I have many foods that I prefer more than Korean food. But but if I focus on Korean food, it'd be like 김치전 and like 제가 약간 할매 입맛이에요. I love 흑임자, 쑥, and like 팥. Oh, so my favorite Korean food is. Oh, that's kind of hard if I think about it. I think I like 약간 쑥 관련된 거, 쑥 and 흑임자 and 인절미, like 그런, those desserts. If you go to cafe, it's like 쑥 디저트, like 인절미 topping and like 흑임자. I think those are my favorite Korean foods. But then in America, like there's obviously not gonna be 흑임자. I think I'm 그냥 할망구 입맛. 어쩔 수 없죠. What's 쌍화탕? Wait, what is that? Am I the only person who doesn't know what that is? 쌍화탕이 뭐죠? 찾아볼게요. Oh, this thing. 그쵸? 팥이랑 쑥떡 너무 맛있어요. 그래서 다음 메뉴 is also related to that. 쌍화탕은 I don't think I'm gonna like it. Like looking at the images. But I like 대추. Like 갈비찜에 들어있는 대추. I like the 대추 part, but I don't think I like 쌍화탕 by itself. I don't think I'm gonna like it. Ooh, there's like 14 minutes left. So I think like for everything, I just like eat the food and explain how it relates to my identity. Then the final food is, as I said before, 쑥떡. 여기에 콩가루가 있어요. 이게 원래는 I cut like 1/3 of it. 이게 만약에 진짜 이 정도만 들어있으면 this is 사기. 근데 이게 조금 주면 안 되죠. 원래는 많이 줘야죠. 이게 프라이스가 있는데. 근데 this is like 1/3. I cut off 1/3 of it. 아주 맛있을 거예요. Okay, so the final menu I'm gonna share with you is 떡, and it's specifically 쑥떡 with 콩, I think 콩 inside, and 떡 is Korean rice cake. I think a lot of people eat it for breakfast and dessert, almost like cake and bread, because 막 한국 traditional dessert or 그런 걸로 치면 the most traditional one is like 떡 and 약과 and 호떡, isn't it? Yeah, I think they are. I like all of them, but this time I specifically chose 떡 because there's a lot of variations and it's very unique to a person. Okay, I don't know what it contains, but I'll just eat it. It's like empty. 이거지. 네, 제가 I chose 김치전 as my start and 쑥떡 as my last because I know it's gonna be my favorite. You start off great and you end very happy as well. 네, 맛있는 음식 먹으면 you feel very delighted. That's true. I don't. 진짜 맛있어요. 네. 떡? 제가 떡 먹다가 I don't know if it's like memorable as in like it's like memorable as in bad, but I was like 떡 once got like stuck in my throat. Like it like actually got like stuck. 그래가지고 like I think I was like I thought I was gonna suffocate. Like I didn't, but it was like 내려갔어. Because like 떡's very stretchy, so it's like 될 뻔했는데 근데 I survived, so yeah. 그 예전에 in 고기 restaurants they serve the 떡 with the like 그 고기랑 when you finish like they give you like the 떡 with 꿀. What do they call it? Is it 가래떡? It's the white 떡. 그거 like when I was a child, I always wanted that food. So like rather than eating the 고기, I'd always wait for the 떡 because like the honey thing 찍으면 it tastes so good. Yeah, it's probably not tasting. 다 먹었습니다. 아직도 이게 뭔지 모르겠어요. There's 소두. And there's like lots of different rice cakes around the world, such as mochi in Japan, and there's a lot, but 떡 is traditional to Korea. And 떡, I think, represents the Korean, like the collective identity, because it's one of the few desserts that is both commonly eaten and enjoyed in Korea, like yakgwa and hotteup. But for me, I think it shows my identity because it's a principal part of my habits. Like for instance, I almost always eat 떡 for breakfast. Like it's my thing. 저 이거 다음에 I have like a 점심 약속. 근데 아침에 if like recall everything I have eaten, it's like 너무 많이 먹은 것 같아요. Like 아침부터 새벽 5시 I ate 빵 하나 and also like chocolate and also like 과자 because I was so hungry. And then 지금 like a bit later, like at around 8 to 9, I ate 불고기 and 계란말이 and 떡 and 김치전. And 이거 다음에 at around 12 o'clock, I'm going to eat pasta and brunch and cake. Yeah. I think I eat 떡을 I never made it before, but yeah, I'd love to. 잠깐만요. I think I made 송편, the thing in 추석. Yeah. I think I like wrapped it, but I didn't make it. And at school, I made a mandu in this Chinese class. But then again, I couldn't eat the mandu because there was pa, and I can't eat pa. So like, I think I made it and then didn't eat anything. Yeah. And I eat 떡 extremely often, and honestly, even more than 불고기, because 떡 it's always for breakfast. And I think that it has almost become a habit now, and habits really are a part of my identity because it shows my subconscious self, like how I really think of myself. So although I never really deeply reflected on this by eating 떡 every morning, I was just like subconsciously carrying out my daily routine. So like if I identify myself, it's almost like the kid that eats 떡 for breakfast every morning. It's like something that's just within me, which is the reason why it's part of my identity. It would be awkward for me to not eat 떡 because at this point it's really the reason why I eat breakfast. And so there were some essential questions that I wanted to answer, and one of them was how do I use my identity to impact my world or community? And I think that each individual identity impacts and creates a community because, in the case of food that I just introduced, everyone has a certain unique identity that sets them apart from others. Like, for example, in the keranmari, there's a lot. 많아요. There's like four. One, two, three, four. 근데, like, there's many variations like this. So it's very unique because I put in cheese almost always. I sometimes put in kim, but I mostly put in cheese, and some people put in yache. So I think that uniqueness, like each certain unique identity, can shape society because everyone's values come together, such as the different varieties of food being brought together under the same category. I think I can use my identity to impact my community because I can share my values or ideals that others have not thought about. So, for example, 예를 들어서, if like I come up with a very tasty menu, like 계란말이, I don't think the cheese 계란말이 is like, I don't think that, I think that a lot of people eat it, but for example, if I put like 김치를, I put it inside 계란말이. So it's like fusion 김치전 and like 계란말이. 근데 I eat it and it's 너무 맛있어. So then I can use like that personal like favorite or like my personal like menu, like my identity to impact my community by like sharing that menu. And if I share this, it will lead to diversity and also like an improvement of ideas because people are going to be like, oh, that's tasty. Well, we should try to invent more. So many different like diverse menus or innovations are going to be made. And finally, like, what does it mean to be Korean American? For me, I think a Korean American is basically a person who hmm, who has Korean backgrounds and origins, like such as a mom or dad from Korea, but also has a strong connection to America as well. And as a Korean American, it's kind of hard to firmly grasp where I came from, like who I am more of. Because in the Olympics, like even though I choose for Korea, I'd also be happy if like America won too. But then they don't. Yeah, yeah. So it's like kind of firmly. It's like hard to know like exactly where I come from. I think that's like a conflict. I think. But personally, I was born and like I lived in America like during my childhood. So I think that more than America, I feel a stronger, like a much stronger bond to Korea, like a much stronger bond because I've been here ever since I was like 6 years old. So I think that I feel more connected to Korea and Korean culture, but I like experiencing different types of cultures, especially since it can like lead to diversity, as I mentioned before, and it's very like interesting to learn about other people's cultures. And 어차피 like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go to college in America, so I think that yeah, it's very good to have many different identities or parts or components inside you. And I think it's about time to end the live. There's like 2 minutes left, no, 3 minutes left, 2 minutes and 20 seconds left since the next person, no, since I end my live, but I think that it's time to wrap up. And so thank you for, what is one culture you want to know better? 저요? Hmm, I think I think Norwegian or Netherlands, like the people of like Norwegians. I think because I I met a lot of Norwegian friends and they were really nice, but I never went to like 북유럽 and also like I never been to like Netherlands or Norway, so I think I want to learn more about them because I never even tasted their food. I don't know anything about them, like their food or their culture. So if I went there, like it could probably like influence me in a way that other cultures never had before. 그러면 이제 라이브를 I think it's time for me to end my live. And so Thank you for watching, and also tune into how Alex Choi next defines their identity. Thank you.